boy, do I have a deal for you. A rare and expensive Assassin's Creed game here. I have Assassin's Creed right here. It's not a rare or expensive game. Yes, it looks like any ordinary Assassin's Creed, but this is copy 1,234,567. That's right, 1,2,3,4,5,6,7. Whoa, cool, 1,2,3,4,5,6,7? Wait, how do I know you have that exact copy made? I mean, come on, don't you trust me? It's my word. I'm always good for my word. You can trust me on this. Sold! Well, I think I got swindled. Oh well. Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with another video for you talking about rare versus expensive games in my collection. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about kind of the rare games they have for their collection or certain systems and everything. Very interesting to watch, but I kind of want to do a bit of a spin of myself on this, of kind of showing ones that I have in my collection that would be more of the rare side versus, ones that are just expensive because, just because a game is rare doesn't exactly mean it's going to be expensive and vice versa, right? And yeah, I kind of want to do this to kind of just talk about a few things now. For rare ones, I don't have too many or anything, and the thing is, when it comes to rare anything, like, you're going to have your own interpretation of it and things like that. For me, for this purpose, I'm going to consider rare of, physical copies that were, 10,000 or less made. There's one exception to this because it's an autographed game that I have, so yeah, we'll just kind of start. So I'll put timestamps in where we'll start with the rare games first, and then we'll talk about kind of the expensive ones. I'm not going to go over every game in my collection and won't show gameplay for every single one, especially when I do kind of bundles like at the start here or anything like that. But if there's a game you want to know more about, just let me know. As yeah, we'll start with kind of limited print ones I have, a couple like limited run ones. There's like, yeah, special reserve games, which are these two, Swords of Ditto and Crossing Souls, which, yeah, you can see on the back kind of their numbers, right, of, 1,500 printed and which number I have, right. And, oh, whoops, hit object in my room. And then yeah, like a couple limited runs, and then yeah, red art games I know like prints about 2,800 or something like that. And yeah, like limited run, which I don't have many limited run as I hardly ever shop on their sites or anything. But yeah, I kind of want to start with this because this is a great example of, like, yes, these are limited prints and everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're expensive or going to end up being super expensive, right? Like, I think Bug Fables here might be one that could gain in price, being this Paper Mario kind of throwback, which if you haven't played this game, play it, like, highly recommended. If you love the first two Paper Mario games, they are super fun. And yeah, but all these ones I have, like, I'll put price charting stuff on some of them and all that, like, I'll put for just these 5 in US titles of, yeah, Bug Fables, Lily, Batbarian, Crossing Souls, and Swords of Ditto. But, yeah, like, again, they're not really sought after, like, for limited runs or games or anything. I think the only ones you're really going to get people wanting the ones that I have are just ones looking for a complete collection, and even these wouldn't satisfy a lot of people because I bought them kind of secondhand, so they don't have, like, the insert to say which number you actually got or anything like that. But yeah, just wanted to start with that. Then Another limited kind of print one I have is this 8-Bit Armies limited edition game. This is a real-time strategy, so yeah. You can see what it comes with. I'll put a picture of everything that comes with, but yeah, it's I'll just read. It's game manual, stamps, a patch, papercraft tank, pins, bandana, certificate, dog tag, soundtrack, and flag, and yeah, like 6,000 of these were made. I bought this off Amazon, super cheap. I haven't actually beat the game yet. It is a pretty generic kind of real-time strategy game, right? But you know, it was super cheap, and I'm like, I don't mind getting. And then one game that I really like, as I was really looking forward to this on the 360 when it originally came out, that I went on the website to get the limited edition, and either 1,000 or 10,000 of these were made. I can't quite remember, but it's the Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning limited edition. Again, I'll put a picture of this, but yeah, if you haven't played this game, like, there's a remastered called Re-Reckoning. It's a fantastic RPG, as yeah, kind of sad story where you know, Kurt Schilling, former baseball player, wanted to make a game, and you know, was inspired by World of Warcraft, right? And so wanted to come make his own. And while graphically, yeah, it does look, you know, doesn't set its own art style, it looks a little too similar to World of Warcraft, still is a fantastic game, one that I highly recommend people check out. It is really awesome. But yeah, the problem with that game is they borrowed, you know, got loan money from the state of Rhode Island, and just one of those things where spending way too much money without, like, anything to back up, because the game, I believe, sold fairly well, like, sold a few million copies, but they needed, like, I think something ridiculous, like 10 million or more to break even, and yeah, it was probably around, like, you know, 2 to 5 million, maybe a bit more, I'm not sure, but yeah, it just, a lot of bankruptcy unfortunately happened after that. But yeah, it is a fantastic game. And then, like I said, yeah, I don't have too many rare games or anything like that, but one that's very special to me, especially now that he's passed, and I've shown this a few times, but is my signed copy of Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions on the Xbox 360, so met Stanley in 2012, and yeah, I didn't really have much for him to sign, like you know, at the time I was collecting comic books, but there wasn't really too much I wanted him to sign that I'm like, well, I really like this game, right, and he narrates in the game, so it's like, sure, why not, it'll be something different, something unique for me to have, right, as yeah, fantastic game. You play as 4 different Spider-Man throughout, yeah, kind of history. Though Amazing and Ultimate are very similar. 2099 plays pretty similar to those two too, but, you know, the kind of atmosphere is really cool in that one. And then Noir is the one that's very different, where it's like a stealth game, kind of Metal Gear Solid or Splinter Cell-like. Very cool, and yeah, it's just a game I really love, and I know this is kind of mixed with people, but for me, just was a fantastic game, so I'm like, yeah, let's get Stanley to sign it, as, you know, it's hard to say, you know, anything you sign is always hard to say if it'll actually gain in value or decrease in value, but no matter what, for me, it's something I wouldn't sell anyways, because that is my memory of my one and only time meeting Stanley, right? So it's something I want to keep, you know, to myself kind of forever, right? But anyways, that's pretty much it for the rare games I would say I have in my collection, as again, yeah, I put the prices on each of these to kind of show where, yeah, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, kind of expensive game, a bit cheaper on the 360, but again, with the Stan Lee signature, it's always, like, even when someone passes, it's really tough to say if it gains in value, because sometimes people would want something that's just unsigned, right? And then, yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur is probably the most expensive of my rare games, I would think, but yeah, it's nothing too special with this of what it comes with, but it was just something I wanted. I wanted the statue of this, but it's, yeah, fair. I couldn't afford it at the time, so I settled for that because, yeah, like, it was like $10 or $20 more expensive than a game. But anyways, that's it for rare games. Let's move on to my expensive ones now. And we're back, so yeah, different shirts and everything. So I was going to record all this yesterday, but my phone needed to be charged, so I'm just leaving the rest to record today. That's why I have a new shirt on. I'm going to sell the movie rights to that. It's going to be called Shirt Off My Back. But enough about that. Don't want to give away all my multi-million-dollar movie ideas. But let's talk about the expensive games in my collection. So yeah, this has been fun to do and talk about and kind of see the difference between, yeah, just a rare game and expensive because, yeah, except for the Kingdoms of Amalur, all my rare games are pretty cheap right now at the moment. Like Spider-Man without the signature, like for both 360 and PS3 is a bit pricey, but yeah, it's always hard to say with signatures, but go with expensive as... yeah, I'm only going over a handful of games, basically 6 games and then 1 franchise here, which, spoiler, it's Pokemon, as, let's start with Pokemon. So, yeah, bunch of Pokemon games are, very expensive, and my 3 most expensive ones are right here of Pokemon Heart Gold, complete in box with the Pokewalker, the Pokemon Sapphire complete in box, and Pokemon White 2 complete in box. So yeah, I'll show picture of these and everything. I don't really need to show gameplay since everyone knows Pokemon, but man, it just bugs me so much with Pokemon because it's one of those franchises that's just like, yes, it's super popular, super in demand, but there's so many copies out there, and it always bugs me, especially the mainline ones, because I can understand a game like, say, Pokemon Conquest being a bit expensive because it's kind of lesser known, right? But having, all these mainline Pokemon games where if you don't buy them right away, man, they get pricey. Like, if you have the Walmart edition of Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver, that's a few grand complete in box, like with the figure and everything. It's just ridiculous, right? But yeah, a lot of these we're going to see, like, yeah, they're not necessarily rare games, they're just expensive for different reasons, right? So, moving on, so, one game I did omit was Atrion Mystery Dungeon, because I have the game with the soundtrack, but I think I'm missing a few other things, like the actual, kind of bigger box, and I think it comes with a few other things, so I didn't include it because it's not exactly complete in box or anything, just so you know. But yeah, we're going to tackle these 6, and some are kind of strangely expensive, like weirdly expensive. So first we have Skies of Arcadia Legends, so yeah, like complete with, yeah, memory card in there. But yeah, I love this game. I wish this game would even just get a simple remaster, or heck, not even a remaster, just port it to modern consoles, right? Because yeah, it's such a fantastic game that, most people are going to have to emulate, whether it's the Dreamcast version or this GameCube one. But yeah, price charting as this around like $135 complete in box, something like that in US dollars. And yeah, it's just, I wish it was readily available for others because it is such a great game, but yeah, it's just one of those, where, yeah, you can argue which one is the better version, because the Dreamcast has better sound and kind of better graphics too, like, because GameCube one didn't really do much to improve the graphics, but yeah, the GameCube one has extra content, along with, I believe they lowered the encounter rate on the game, right? So, yeah, but anyways, moving on. Next, this one kind of surprises me how it went kind of high according to price charting anyways, and that's Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Like, I'll have to double check just to make sure, like, yeah, I did read this right, because according to price charting, like, yeah, and, you know, Yuffie DLC, I'm sure it doesn't matter if I show you the code since I already redeemed it, but, yeah, it's just weird. It's weird because I remember, like, even when I bought this off Amazon for, I think, like 50 Canadian during Prime Day, I'm like, that's a bit pricey for what I want to spend, but I want the PS5 version, I want the Yuffie DLC, right? And yeah, it's one of those games that's kind of hard to find randomly. It's really, really weird, and yeah, so it's kind of surprising how high it is. It's a fantastic game. I love it. I'm loving Rebirth right now, but Remake still excellent, fun game, and yeah, it's just really great game. And you know, I know the Remake's not for everybody or anything like that, but yeah, it's just, I really love it. I love the combat and everything like that. Now, moving on, we have another kind of strange one to me. So it's complete in box, Guitar Hero Live here. So yeah, we have that. Don't think I need to really show the game or anything, but yeah. And it's weird to me, like, because I don't even know if you can play the game anymore. Like, you might be able to do the single player stuff, but a lot of the game was online heavy, right? Because, yeah, it did weird reboots where it was a single player experience, and they were, you know, they had this online store where you're playing songs and you have the music videos playing, but you don't get to actually purchase the songs. It's all microtransactions, and just a really weird practice. Also a really weird song list, because I think it only has about 4 or 5 kind of classic rock songs, and I know the first song I believe you start with is Blink-182's The Rock Show, and, you know, cool idea, like, you know, the guitar itself is kind of just, yeah, a bit different, right? Because, yeah, it's kind of just these 3 frets here, but they're both on either side, right? So you got 6 kind of buttons there, right? And and yeah, like, playing the game you are doing, it's all live action, so you're doing like a live show, and as you're playing, if you perform well, the crowd's really into it. If you perform bad, like, yeah, people will boo you and things like that, right? But very weird song list, because I know there's like a Katy Perry song in there, and it's just, when I think Guitar Hero, I don't necessarily think Katy Perry. Okay, that's a lie, I always think of Katy. But, yeah, it's just weird, and it's, yeah, if you got the 2 guitar bundle, it's even more expensive. I forget what price sharing has, but yeah, it's weirdly expensive, because I'm not sure what the audience would be if you ever tried to sell it or anything. Like, for me, it's probably going to be one of those weird things that's just always in my collection, right? So, moving on, we have Xenosaga 3 here, so, yeah, and, yeah, all complete, but, yeah, I haven't played this or the second game, and a lot of it is because, like, I beat the first game, but I kind of held off because of all the rumors about, like, oh, we're getting a, you know, a remaster of these games, or remakes, or whatever stuff on the Switch, and it's just like, I'm not sure if I want to play this, because for me, I think I would have to start from the beginning, because I kind of want to emulate these games because of how expensive this game is, right? So I would have to start with the first game, again, replay that, and then work my way through, but it is a really, like, I love the first game, and I want to play these, but yeah, I'm just like, do I play them? Do I hold out for remaster, maybe? We'll see, but anyways, yeah, I think that's about, like, 213 complete in box, and then Blue Dragon Awakened Shadow on the DS. Really like this game. It's probably my, probably my second favorite Blue Dragon game, as, yeah, I love the Blue Dragon series. Like, my favorite is the 360, then probably this, and then Plus, which is the second game. And the problem with Blue Dragon, though, is it couldn't quite find that audience. It couldn't quite decide what type of game it wanted to be, right? Because the first game was a turn-based RPG, then the second game was a tactics-style turn-based strategy game, and then this one is an action RPG, right? But really like Awakened Shadow because you get to create your own character and kind of live in this world and help Shu and all of his friends and everything. I just really enjoy it, but yeah, it's one of those you'll probably have to emulate too, because yeah, it's like $2.15 or something that price charting has it at, and it's one of those games that I wouldn't say is rare, but it can be a bit tricky to come across occasionally. Like, it depends where you look, but yeah, it's just one of those. And then my final most expensive game in my collection, which, yeah, this is part of the 3DS store closing, and might do a video just all kind talking about game preservation and all that, because of course the Yuzu incident and with the Switch, and how the same company was also running the 3DS emulator Citra, right? And so, yeah, might talk about that later, but yeah, this is the most expensive game in my collection. I believe it's the second or third most expensive kind of standalone 3DS game out there, because the most expensive is a Barbie game, strangely enough, which is weird because if you got the DS or Wii version of that Barbie game, it's like under $10, but this 3DS one is like $3,000 or something. It's ridiculous, but my game, and I love this game. I wish this series would come back in some way, that, you know, remasters, remakes, whatever, so that more people can play it. And it's Yokai Watch 3, which is my personal favorite. I love the combat system in this one, because the first two games were more like a rotating wheel type system, but in this one you got like this grid system where you're kind of moving your yokai on this grid to avoid attacks or to attack different enemies, and just a really cool game. I love the stereotypical America in this, because the whole story is Nathan's father gets a new job, and so they have to relocate into America. They don't quite say it, but yeah, they move to a kind of Texas place called BBQ, and everyone is talking like, yeah, they're from Texas. It's so stereotypical. I love it. And the new character too of Haley is really fun and energetic, right? So yeah, but this game is something like $300-400 US or something like that. It's pretty ridiculous, because this game before the 3DS store closed was probably, I'm trying to think, it was probably around 60 to 100 US, but yeah, especially like kind of right before the 3DS store closed, actually, like a few months ago, like the game kept going up in price, and yeah, it's one of the most expensive currently on the 3DS, which, yeah, it's too bad because I love the yokai series altogether. I'll probably do a video on that. I'm missing a few, which I'll probably never get, because yokai games, most of them are very expensive, because I'm missing the second game of Psychic Spectres, because I have two versions of the second game, but yeah, they're more of the common variety, and then I'm missing white and red blasters, which, yeah, those are expensive too. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this look at kind of my rare versus expensive games, right? Because it kind of shows like an expensive game can be very common, but yeah, it's just something about the market just says, hey, this is the price. And yeah, I wish there were more outlets out there, because price charting, I kind of said this before, I'm not a fan of price charting, but it's kind of the only thing out there to use, right, to get an idea of a price for a game, right? And yeah, it's just, I wish there were better outlets out there myself, but yeah, and of course for rare games it shows like a lot of the rare games I have where there's like, you know, only a couple thousand copies or something is just like, you can buy it for like 20 to 50 bucks, right? It's one of those things, like I said, except for Kingdoms of Amalur, and it's hard to say about the Spider-Man Stan Lee signature one, right? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments your rare and or expensive games in your collection, and what you think about just game prices in general, and how these things are just kind of determined, right? Like, I would love to hear all your thoughts down below, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, everyone. Take care, have a great rest of your day, and now it's time for me to do that movie idea, so see you later. Huh! Get off my back, shirt! This movie might not be such a great idea. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, or if you just want to see any of my skits and then nothing else and leave the video, that's fine too. Thanks everyone, take care.